Maya Thompson pushed her lunch tray to the corner of the empty table and pulled out her notebook. The cafeteria buzzed with conversation around her, but she barely noticed. Her pencil moved across the page in steady lines, creating patterns that looked like strange circles and triangles connected by dotted lines. "What are you drawing now?" Jake Martinez slid into the seat across from her, unwrapping his sandwich. Maya looked up, her brown eyes meeting his for just a moment before returning to her work. "Nothing important. Just thinking." Jake leaned forward, trying to see her notebook. Better. The drawings looked like some kind of map, but not of any place he knew. There were numbers written in tiny print along the edges, and symbols that reminded him of the periodic table from chemistry class. "You always draw weird stuff," Jake said, taking a bite of his sandwich. "Remember last week when you drew those spiral things during math class?" Even Mrs. Peterson was confused. Maya's hand stopped moving. She had been drawing fleet formations during math class, but she could not tell Jake that. The spirals were attack patterns she had been working on for 3 months. "I just like patterns," she said quietly. Closing the notebook, Jake watched her reach into her backpack and pull out what looked like regular earbuds. But he had noticed something strange about them. Maya never listened to music. Instead, she would sit perfectly still with her eyes closed, like she was listening to something very important. "What do you listen to?" he asked. "Just podcasts, science stuff. You would find it boring." Maya put the small devices in her ears and closed her eyes. Jake finished his sandwich and watched her face. She looked like she was concentrating very hard. Sometimes her eyebrows would move slightly, like she was having a conversation with someone. What Jake did not know was that Maya was not listening to podcasts. The small devices in her ears were quantum communicators, more advanced than anything Earth's normal technology could produce. Right now, she was receiving a report from Admiral Kate Sullivan, who was stationed 300 miles above Earth on a secret space platform. "Maya, we have new readings from the outer detection grid." Admiral Sullivan's voice came through clearly. "The energy signatures are getting stronger. We think they might arrive sooner than we expected." Maya kept her eyes closed and her face calm. She could not speak out loud, so she used the tiny controls built into the communicator to send back a simple message. She needed more details about the alien ships approaching Earth. "The Zephyrian advance scouts are already past Mars." Admiral Sullivan continued. "Our best estimate is that the main fleet will be here within 2 weeks. Have you finished the defensive analysis?" Maya touched the communicator twice, which meant yes. She had spent the last 3 nights working on battle plans, while her adoptive parents thought she was doing homework. The patterns in her notebook were not random drawings. They were detailed maps of how to position Earth's secret defense satellites to stop an alien invasion. "Good," Admiral Sullivan said. "We need to run the simulation again tonight. The President wants to see your recommendations tomorrow." Maya opened her eyes and looked around the cafeteria. Her classmates were laughing and talking about normal teenage things. Lisa Chun was showing her friends pictures from her weekend trip to the beach. Danny Rodriguez was complaining about his history test. Emma Watson was trying to finish her English homework before 5th period. None of them knew that Maya Thompson, the quiet girl who sat alone at lunch, was the most important person on Earth. None of them knew that she had been born during a secret space mission 17 years ago, when her parents were part of the first human expedition to Jupiter's moons. Something had happened during that mission, something that changed Maya's brain in ways that scientists still did not completely understand. Maya could think faster and see patterns that other people missed. She could hold thousands of pieces of information in her mind at the same time and find connections between them. When she was 7 years old, she had solved a military strategy problem that had been puzzling generals for months. By the time she was 12, she was secretly helping plan Earth's defense against possible alien threats. Earth to Maya, Jake sighed, waving his hand in front of her face. The bell rang. We have physics next. Maya blinked and realized the cafeteria was emptying. She quickly packed her notebook and followed Jake to their next class. Mr. Grant was already writing equations on the board when they arrived. Today we are talking about quantum mechanics, Mr. Grant said as students took their seats. Can anyone tell me what quantum entanglement means? Maya knew the answer, but she never raised her hand in class. She had learned to be careful about showing how much she knew. But when Mr. Grant called on Kevin Murphy, and Kevin gave the wrong answer, Maya could not help herself. That is not exactly right, she said quietly. Mr. Grant turned to look at her. Oh? What do you think, Maya? Quantum entanglement is when two particles become connected in a way that measuring one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. It is not just about particles spinning in opposite directions. It is about information being shared across space instantly. The class was quiet. Mr. Grant stared at Maya for a moment and nodded slowly. That is very accurate. Maya, have you been reading ahead in the textbook? Maya shook her head. I just find it interesting. What she did not say was that Earth's secret defense system depended on quantum entanglement. The hidden satellites orbiting Earth were connected through quantum communication networks that Maya had helped design. It was the only way to coordinate defenses fast enough to stop alien ships that could travel faster than light. After class, Jake walked with Maya to her locker. How did you know all that stuff about quantum whatever? I told you, I like science, Maya said, putting her physics book away. But you explained it better than the teacher did. And you never study. I sit behind you and study all, and you just draw those weird patterns. Maya closed her locker and looked at Jake. He was the closest thing she had to a friend at Lincoln High, but she could not tell him the truth. She could not tell anyone that while they worried about tests and dates and college applications, she was working to save the human race from aliens who had destroyed 17 other worlds. I have to go, she said. I have an appointment. With who? Just ... family stuff. Maya walked away, leaving Jake standing by the lockers with a confused expression. She had to get home and check in with Admiral Sullivan. The alien ships were coming, and Earth was running out of time to prepare. Maya woke up to the sound of her phone buzzing on the nightstand. It was 5 a.m, and the screen showed 17 missed calls from news apps. She sat up in bed and grabbed the phone, scrolling through the notifications. Strange lights, seen over major cities worldwide. Scientists baffled by electromagnetic disturbances. Government officials call emergency meetings as mysterious objects appear in sky. Maya's heart began beating faster. She reached under her pillow and pulled out her quantum communicator, pressing the emergency contact button. Admiral Sullivan's voice came through immediately. Maya, are you seeing the news? Yes, Maya whispered, not wanting to wake her adoptive parents down the hall. Are they here? The advance scouts arrived during the night. They are positioning themselves just outside our detection range, but we can see them with the quantum sensors. The main fleet is still 2 days away, but this changes everything. Maya got out of bed and walked to her window. The sky looked normal, but she knew that somewhere above the clouds, alien ships were watching Earth. Ships that belonged to the Zephyrian Empire, a race that had conquered 17 worlds and was now coming for humanity. What do you need me to do? Maya asked. Get to school and act normal. We cannot let anyone suspect anything is different. But be ready. We might need your tactical analysis at any moment. Maya got dressed and went downstairs for breakfast. Her adoptive mother, Carol Thompson, was making coffee and watching the morning news. The reporter was talking about the strange lights that people had seen in the sky. "What do you think it is, Maya?" Carol asked, not looking away from the television. "Some people are saying it might be aliens." Maya poured herself a glass of orange juice and tried to keep her voice steady. "Probably just weather balloons or military tests. The government does secret stuff all the time." Carol nodded. "That makes sense. Your father thinks it might be some kind of new satellite system." At school, Maya could see that everyone was talking about the mysterious lights. Groups of students stood around looking at their phones, sharing videos and theories. The hallways buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. "Did you see the news?" Jake Martinez appeared beside Maya's locker, his eyes wide with excitement. "My cousin in New York says he saw 3 huge objects in the sky last night. They were just floating there, not moving at all." Maya opened her locker and pulled out her books. "It is probably nothing. People see things in the sky all the time. But this is different," Jake insisted. "It happened in like 50 cities at the same time. And look at this." He showed Maya his phone screen. There was a video someone had taken from their apartment window. In the dark sky, 3 points of light hung perfectly still, arranged in a triangle formation. Maya recognized the formation immediately. It was a standard Zephyrian reconnaissance pattern, designed to scan a planet's defenses and population centers. But she could not tell Jake that. "Weird," she said, closing her locker. "Weird? Maya, this could be first contact with aliens. This could change everything. How are you so calm about this?" Before Maya could answer, Principal Davis's voice came over the school intercom. "Attention students and staff. Due to the current situation and ongoing investigations by federal authorities, we will be holding a special assembly in the gymnasium at 10 o'clock. All classes before that time were canceled. Please report to your first period classroom for attendance, then proceed to the gymnasium." The hallways erupted in excited chatter. Maya felt her communicator vibrate against her ear. She needed to find a private place to receive the message. "I need to use the bathroom," she told Jake. "Now?" "Maya, we might be about to learn that aliens are real. Can't you hold it?" Maya walked away without answering, pushing through the crowds of students toward the nearest bathroom. She found an empty stall and locked the door, then activated her communicator. "Maya, the situation is escalating faster than we expected." Admiral Sullivan's voice was tense. "The Zephyrian Advance Fleet has taken positions around Earth. We count 47 ships, each one the size of a city block. They are not attacking yet, but they are scanning everything." Maya closed her eyes and activated the holographic display that only she could see. The advanced technology in her brain allowed her to process visual information that would be invisible to anyone else. In front of her, a 3-dimensional map of Earth appeared, showing the positions of all the alien ships. They were arranged in a perfect sphere around the planet, maintaining exact distances from each other. Maya's enhanced mind began analyzing the formation, looking for patterns and weaknesses. "They are using a containment formation," she whispered. "It is designed to prevent any ships from leaving Earth and to monitor all communications. But there is something strange about the positioning." "What do you see?" Maya studied the holographic display more carefully. Each alien ship was connected to the others through quantum communication links, creating a network that allowed them to coordinate their actions instantly. But the network had a weakness. "Their command ships are here, here, and here," Maya said, highlighting 3 specific positions in the formation. "If we can disrupt the quantum links between these 3 ships, the entire network will collapse. The other ships will lose coordination. How do we do that?" Maya began running calculations in her mind. She needed to factor in the positions of Earth's secret defense satellites, the quantum frequencies the aliens were using, and the exact timing required to create a cascading failure in their communication system. "I need 20 minutes to work." Out the details, she said. Can you delay any action until then? We will try. But Maya, the president is meeting with military leaders in an hour. They want to know if we should try to communicate with the aliens or prepare for war. Tell them to wait. I think I can find a way to make the aliens retreat without a fight, but I need time to be sure. Maya ended the communication and leaned against the stall door. Outside, she could hear students talking and laughing as they made their way to the gymnasium. They had no idea that their weird classmate was trying to save the world from inside a bathroom stall. She pulled out her notebook and began sketching rapidly. To anyone watching, it would look like she was drawing random geometric shapes. But each line and angle represented the position of an alien ship, and each calculation brought her closer to finding a solution that could save humanity without starting a war that Earth might not win. Maya heard footsteps approaching the bathroom door. Maya, are you in there? It was Jake's voice. The assembly is starting. You have been in there for like 20 minutes. Maya looked at her notebook. She had covered 4 pages with complex diagrams and calculations. She was close to a solution, but she needed more time. I will be right out, she called back. Are you okay? You have been acting even weirder than usual lately. Maya stood up and gathered her things. She would have to finish the calculations later. Right now, she needed to act like a normal teenager, attending a school assembly about possible alien contact, while secretly coordinating humanity's response to an actual alien invasion. She opened the stall door and walked to the sink, splashing cold water on her face. In the mirror, she looked like any other 17-year-old girl. But behind her eyes was a mind that was working to solve the most complex military problem in human history. Coming, she said, and walked out to join her classmates, carrying the weight of the world in her notebook. The gymnasium fell completely silent as the large screen at the front displayed an image that made everyone's breath catch. A massive alien ship hung in the sky above New York City, its dark metal surface reflecting the morning sunlight. The ship was enormous, easily 10 times larger than the biggest airplane anyone had ever seen. Maya sat in the bleachers with her classmates, her hands folded in her lap to hide their trembling. She recognized the ship design immediately. It was a Zephyrian command vessel, and its appearance meant that the aliens were ready to make contact. Principal Davis stood at the microphone, his face pale. Students, as you can see, we are experiencing an unprecedented situation. Government officials have confirmed that these are indeed ships from another world. Classes are suspended until further notice. Please remain calm and follow all instructions from your teachers. The screen changed to show a news broadcast. A reporter stood in front of the White House, speaking rapidly into her microphone. Behind her, military vehicles were moving into position. We have just received word that similar ships have appeared over London, Tokyo, Moscow, and 12 other major cities worldwide. Government leaders are preparing for what may be humanity's first official contact with an alien civilization. Maya felt her communicator vibrate. She needed to get somewhere private, but moving now would draw attention. She forced herself to sit still and wait. Jake Martinez, who was sitting next to her, leaned over and whispered, "This is incredible. We are actually seeing aliens. Real aliens?" Maya nodded, trying to look as amazed as everyone else. But inside, her mind was racing through the tactical implications. The Zephyrians were positioning their command ships over major population centers. It was a standard intimidation tactic, designed to make the target species understand how helpless they were. The screen flickered, and suddenly they were looking at something that made several students gasp. It was the inside of what looked like a spaceship with strange blue lights and surfaces that seemed to shift and move like liquid metal. In the center of the image stood a tall figure in dark armor. The alien was humanoid, but clearly not human. Its skin was gray and seemed to have a metallic sheen. Its eyes were larger than human eyes and completely black. When it spoke, its voice was translated into English by some kind of computer system. "People of Earth," the alien said, its voice echoing strangely. "I am Commander Vex of the Zephyrian Empire. We have come to your world with an offer. You have 3 of your days to consider our terms." Maya's heart pounded. 3 days was much less time than they had expected. "Your species shows promise," Commander Vex continued. "We have observed your technological development and your capacity for warfare. The Zephyrian Empire offers you the opportunity to join. U.S. willingly. You will retain your lives and your basic freedoms. In return, you will provide resources and labor to support our expansion into this galaxy." Students around Maya began whispering urgently. Some sounded excited, others frightened. Emma Watson, who sat 2 rows in front of Maya, was crying quietly. "If you refuse our offer," Commander Vex said, his black eyes seeming to look directly through the camera, "your world will be conquered by force. We have brought sufficient ships to overwhelm any resistance you might attempt. We have done this 17 times before." Each time, the native species eventually understood that cooperation was their only path to survival. The transmission ended, leaving the gymnasium in stunned silence. Principal Davis tried to say something reassuring, but his voice cracked. Teachers began organizing students into groups for orderly dismissal. Maya stood up with everyone else, but her legs felt unsteady. She had known this moment was coming, but hearing Commander Vex speak directly to Earth made it feel terrifyingly real. As students filed out of the gymnasium, she felt her communicator vibrate again, more urgently than before. "I need to call my parents," she told Jake, pulling out her regular phone as an excuse. "Yeah, me too," Jake said, but he was staring at Maya with a strange expression. "Maya, can I ask you something?" "What?" "How are you so calm about this? Everyone else is freaking, but you look like you are expecting this to happen." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Jake was more observant than she had realized. "I am not calm. I am just trying not to panic. But you are not even surprised. When that alien started talking, everyone else was shocked, but you just sat there like you had seen it before." Maya looked around. Most of the students had left the gymnasium, and the few remaining were too distracted by their own conversations to pay attention to her and Jake. She needed to get away and contact Admiral Sullivan, but Jake was blocking her path and staring at her with suspicious eyes. "I have to go," Maya said, trying to step around him. Jake moved to block her again. "Maya, what is going on? And do not say nothing, because I have been watching you for months. You do things that do not make sense. You disappear at weird times. You know things you should not know. And now aliens show up, and you act like it is just another Tuesday." Maya's communicator was vibrating almost constantly now. Admiral Sullivan was trying to reach her, probably with critical updates about the alien fleet. Every second she delayed could put Earth in more danger. "Jake, I really have to go. My parents are probably worried." "Your parents," Jake said slowly. "Maya, I looked up your parents online last week. Carol and Robert Townsend. They run a small accounting business. They are not scientists or government workers or anything special. So why does their daughter know more about quantum mechanics than our physics teacher?" Maya felt trapped. Jake had been piecing together clues about her true nature, and now he was confronting her at the worst possible moment. She could not tell him the truth, but she was running out of believable lies. "You would not believe me if I told you," she said quietly. "Try me." Maya looked into Jake's eyes and saw something she had not expected. He was not just curious or suspicious. He looked hurt, like he felt betrayed that she had been lying to him. "I cannot," she said. "I am sorry, Jake, but I cannot tell you. Please just trust me and let me go." Jake stared at her for a long moment, then stepped aside. "Fine. But Maya, whatever is going on with you, you do not have to handle it alone. I am your friend, even if you do not trust me enough to tell me the truth." Maya felt tears prick her eyes, but she did not have time to explain or comfort Jake. She hurried out of the gymnasium and found an empty classroom, locking the door behind her. Then she activated her communicator. "Admiral Sullivan, I am here." "Maya, thank God. We have been trying to reach you for 20 minutes. The situation has changed dramatically. I saw the broadcast. Commander Vex gave us 3 days. That is not the worst part. Our deep space sensors are picking up the main Zephyrian fleet. It is much larger than we expected. Over 300 ships, including battle cruisers that could destroy entire cities with a single shot." Maya closed her eyes and tried to process this information. 300 ships was far more than Earth's defenses could handle, even with her tactical planning. "But there is something else," Admiral Sullivan continued. "We intercepted some of their internal communications. The Zephyrians are not just here to conquer Earth. They are here because they heard about a tactical genius that helped coordinate Earth's early warning systems. They want to capture this person and use their abilities to plan the conquest of other worlds." Maya felt the blood drain from her face. "They know about me?" "Not specifically. They know someone on Earth has been coordinating advanced defense systems, but they do not know who. Commander Vex thinks it is one of our military leaders. But Maya, if they find out about you, they will never let you go. You would spend the rest of your life planning invasions for them." Maya sank into a chair, overwhelmed by the weight of responsibility. Earth needed her tactical abilities to survive the next 3 days, but if the aliens discovered her true identity, she would become their weapon against other innocent worlds. Outside the classroom window, she could see students leaving the school building, most of them on their phones, calling their families. They looked scared but hopeful, like they believed the government would find a way to protect them. Maya opened her notebook and began sketching new diagrams. She had less than 72 hours to find a way to defeat a fleet of 300 alien warships while keeping her identity secret. The fate of humanity depended on a 17-year-old girl that everyone thought was just weird. Maya had been awake for 36 hours straight. Her bedroom floor was covered with notebook pages filled with calculations and diagrams. Empty coffee cups sat on her desk next to her laptop, which displayed orbital tracking data that looked like homework to anyone who might walk in. Through her window, she could see the Zephyrian command ship hanging motionless in the sky above the city. It had been there for 2 days now, a constant reminder that humanity was running out of time. Her communicator buzzed softly. "Maya, this is Admiral Sullivan. We need your final recommendations in 6 hours. The President is meeting with world leaders to decide our response." Maya rubbed her tired eyes and looked at her latest calculations. She had found a way to disable the alien fleet, but it required perfect timing and a level of coordination that had never been attempted before. One mistake would mean the destruction of Earth's defense satellites and humanity's complete defeat. "I have a plan," she whispered into the communicator, "but it is very risky. Tell me." Maya picked up her most recent diagram. The Zephyrian ships use quantum entanglement to coordinate their attacks. If we can create a feedback loop in their quantum network, it will overload their command systems and force them to retreat. How do we create this feedback loop? We use their own technology against them. When they try to attack our cities, our defense satellites will reflect their quantum signals back at them. The reflected signals will interfere with their original commands, creating chaos in their fleet coordination. Admiral Sullivan was quiet for a moment. Maya, that would require our satellites to be in exactly the right positions at exactly the right time. And we would have to let them start their attack before we could respond. I know. It means some of our cities will be hit before we can stop them. But it is the only way to defeat 300 ships with our limited defenses. Maya heard voices in the background. Then Admiral Sullivan returned. The President wants to speak with you directly. Can you get to a secure location? Maya looked around her bedroom. Her adoptive parents thought she was sick and had been bringing her soup and medicine all day. They had no idea she was coordinating Earth's defense against alien invasion. Give me 10 minutes, she said. Maya got dressed quietly and crept downstairs. Carol and Robert Thompson were in the living room, watching news coverage of the alien ships. Every channel showed the same images, massive dark ships hovering over major cities, while crowds of people gathered in the streets below. Maya? Carol looked up as Maya reached the front door. Where are you going? You should be resting. I need some fresh air. I will just walk around the block. Be careful, honey. With everything that is happening, I do not want you out alone. Maya nodded and stepped outside. The evening air was cool, and the streets were unusually quiet. Most people were staying indoors, waiting to see what would happen when the alien deadline expired tomorrow. She walked to the park 3 blocks from her house and found an empty bench under a large oak tree. The Zephyrian command ship was visible overhead, its lights blinking in patterns that Maya recognized as scanning sequences. She activated her secure communicator and waited. Maya Thompson? The voice was different from Admiral Sullivan's. Older, more formal. Yes, sir. This is President Martinez. Admiral Sullivan has briefed me on your tactical analysis. I want you to know that the entire world is counting on your plan. Maya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders like a heavy blanket. Mr. President, I need you to understand that my plan will not save everyone. Some cities will be attacked before we can stop the aliens. People will die. How many people? Maya had run the calculations dozens of times. Probably between 50,000 and 100,000 casualties, depending on which cities they target first. The President was quiet for a long moment. Maya. In normal circumstances, any plan that costs that many lives would be unacceptable. But if we do nothing, they will enslave or kill all 7 billion people on Earth. Do you believe your plan will work? Yes, sir. I am 97% certain it will force them to retreat. And the 3%? Maya took a deep breath. If I am wrong, humanity will be completely defenseless within 2 hours. Admiral Sullivan tells me you are 17 years old. Yes, sir. Maya, I have been president for 6 years. I have made decisions that affected millions of people, but I have never had to make a choice like this. You are asking me to bet the survival of our species on the tactical analysis of a teenager. Maya understood his hesitation. If she were in his position, she would probably feel the same way. But there was something he needed to know. Mr. President, I have been planning Earth's defense since I was 12 years old. I have studied every alien invasion scenario our scientists could imagine. This is not guesswork. This is 5 years of preparation for exactly this situation. All right, Maya, we will implement your plan. God help us all. The communication ended, leaving Maya alone on the park bench. Above her, the alien ship continued its patient scanning, unaware that a teenage girl sitting in a small park had just sealed its fate. Maya walked home slowly, trying to memorize the feeling of normal suburban streets. Tomorrow, everything would change. Either her plan would work and humanity would be free, or it would fail and Earth would become another conquered world in the Zephyrian Empire. When she got home, Jake Martinez was sitting on her front porch. "We need to talk," he said, standing up as she approached. "Jake, this is not a good time." "Maya, I know." She stopped walking. "You know what? I know you're not just some weird girl who likes math. I know you have been disappearing during every major crisis. I know you predicted the alien invasion in your drawings weeks before it happened." Maya felt her heart start racing. "Jake, you do not understand what you are saying." "Then explain it to me." "Because tomorrow those aliens are going to attack, and somehow I think you are the only person who knows how to stop them." Maya looked at Jake's face in the porch light. He looked scared, but determined. She realized that keeping her secret from him was no longer protecting anyone. If her plan failed tomorrow, it would not matter who knew the truth. "If I tell you, you can never tell anyone else. Not your parents, not your friends, no one. I promise." Maya sat down on the porch steps, and Jake sat beside her. Then, for the first time in her life, she told someone the complete truth about who she was and what she could do. "My real parents were part of a secret space mission when I was born. Something happened that changed my brain. I can think faster and see patterns that other people cannot see. For the last 5 years, I have been helping plan Earth's defenses." Jake listened without interrupting as Maya explained about the quantum communicators, the hidden satellites, and the tactical analysis that had consumed her life. When she finished, he was quiet for a long time. "So tomorrow, when the aliens attack, you are going to coordinate the entire defense?" "Yes, and if your plan works, no one will ever know that Maya Thompson saved the world." Maya nodded. "That is how it has to be." Jake stood up and looked at the alien ship in the sky. "Well, for what it is worth, I think you are going to succeed. You are the smartest person I have ever met, even if you are still weird." Maya smiled for the first time in days. "Thank you, Jake. That means more to me than you know." "Maya?" "Yes?" "After we win tomorrow, do you think we could be normal friends? Like, go to movies and complain about homework, and do regular teenage stuff?" Maya looked at her friend, who had somehow figured out her secret and chosen to trust her with the fate of the world. "I would like that very much." The next morning, Maya woke up early and opened her notebook one last time. In 18 hours, the alien deadline would expire. Her plan was ready, and Earth's hidden defenses were positioned exactly where they needed to be. She put on her regular clothes and went to school, because even on the day she saved the world, Maya Thompson was still just a weird girl who sat alone at lunch.